Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Golden Bachelorette, Chock Chapple puts out red flags. It seems fans think Chock Chapple could be putting out red flags, almost like Devon Strader on Jen Tran's season of The Bachelorette. Unfortunately, he is showing some of the same signs Devon did. However, fans just want Joan Vassos to be happy. Keep reading to find out more about this situation. Joan Vassos wants to find love. Joan Vassos lost her husband. However, she wants to find love again. She was on Jerry Turner's season of The Golden Bachelor. However, she had to leave the journey to be there for her family. This is something a lot of people look up to. She was then chosen to be the first ever Golden Bachelorette. She started the season with a ton of kind older men. Fans love watching the men together and how they treat Joan. She has sent a good amount of the men home due to them not being the one for her. However, she has told them all how much they changed her life. Chock Chapple shows major red flags. Chock Chapple is one of the frontrunners on the show. It is said that he is the one who wins Joan's heart in the end. However, some fans are seeing some red flags with Chock. He is constantly trying to get alone time with Joan. He does not care who it upsets or what drama it causes. This makes viewers think about Devon Strader. He acted the same way but ended up leaving Jen Tran after the show stopped airing. Fans hope this does not cause drama in the house. They would hate for Joan to have to get in the middle of that. However, a lot of the men seem to be mature enough to not let it bother them. So maybe everything can stay cordial throughout the rest of their journey. It seems that fans are worried that Chock may do the same thing Devon did. However, that may not be the case. It is said that Chock is the one who wins Joan's heart. However, that could be wrong. Regardless, fans want Joan to be happy and find love, especially since she lost her husband. On The Golden Bachelorette, where love knows no age and second chances at romance take center stage, Chock Chapple has been one of the more enigmatic figures vying for Joan Vassos' heart. With his charismatic smile and polished demeanor, Chock initially appeared to be the epitome of a perfect gentleman. Yet, as weeks passed, fans began dissecting his actions and words, sparking a fiery debate. Is Chock Chapple a red flag factory, or is he simply misunderstood? The polished perfectionist. From the moment Chock stepped out of the limousine, he radiated confidence. Dressed in a tailored suit that seemed designed to accentuate his every move, he extended his hand to Joan with a slight bow, uttering the now famous line, "Joan, I've waited 62 years to meet someone like you." While Joan was charmed, viewers at home couldn't help but notice how rehearsed the moment felt. Social media exploded with comments like, "Did Chock practice that line in the mirror for weeks? And he's a little too perfect. What's he hiding?" Chock's attention to detail didn't stop there. He always seemed to know exactly what to say, pulling Joan aside at the right moments and presenting small but meaningful gifts, like a hand-carved wooden rose or a poem he'd written. While these gestures won him early favor with Joan, some of the other contestants started raising eyebrows. "Chock's got this whole polished thing down," said fellow suitor Pascal Abgi in a confessional. "But I don't know if Joan's seeing the real him." The control question. Perhaps the most glaring red flag for viewers came during the group date where Joan challenged the men to a competitive cooking challenge. Each contestant was tasked with creating a dish that symbolized their personality, while others threw themselves into the challenge with lighthearted humor. Pascal made a flamboyant French soufflé that collapsed, and Guy Ganser attempted a chili so spicy it left Joan laughing through tears. Chock took things far more seriously. He meticulously prepared a plate of herb-crusted salmon with a citrus reduction, presenting it as a metaphor for his layers of complexity. But when Joan reached for the plate, Chock held it back for a moment and said, "Before you taste it, I need you to promise you'll finish the entire dish. It represents me, and I don't want any of me left behind." Joan laughed it off and took a bite, but fans weren't as forgiving. "Red flag alert," tweeted one viewer. Why does he need that kind of control over her experience? Another added, he's turning a fun date into some weird power play. The X Factor. As the weeks progressed, more red flags began to flutter in the breeze. During a candid one-on-one conversation, Chock opened up about his past relationships, revealing he'd been married twice and divorced both times. "I don't believe in giving up on love," he told Joan, his voice trembling with emotion. "But sometimes people don't live up to the commitment they make. I was the one who held it together as long as I could." While Joan empathized with his vulnerability, viewers couldn't help but dig deeper into his past. Reports began to circulate that Chock's second ex-wife had described him as charming but overly demanding, with a tendency to micromanage everything from dinner plans to the color of their throw pillows. Still, Chock seemed unbothered by the whispers. In another confessional, he said, "People love to speculate, but I know who I am. Joan knows who I am. That's all that matters." The passive-aggressive incident. Perhaps the most polarizing moment came during the hometown dates. Joan visited Chock's hometown of Charleston, South Carolina, where he treated her to a romantic day filled with horse-drawn carriage rides and a sunset dinner overlooking the harbor. It was picturesque, to say the least, but things took a turn when Chock introduced Joan to his daughter Allison. Allison, a fiercely independent woman in her 30s, seemed less than enthusiastic about the prospect of her father remarrying. "I just don't want to see you hurt again, Dad," she said, her tone icy. Chock's response raised more than a few eyebrows. "Allison, I appreciate your concern, but let's not project your fears onto my future happiness." Joan, ever the peacemaker, tried to smooth things over, but the tension was palpable. Fans were quick to dissect the interaction online, with one posting, "Did Chock just gaslight his own daughter on national TV?" Others, however, defended him, arguing that he was setting boundaries and prioritizing his happiness. Joan's blind spot. Despite the growing list of red flags, Joan seemed smitten with Chock. During a confessional after their hometown date, she gushed, "Chock has this way of making me feel like the only woman in the world. He's thoughtful, kind, and so passionate about life. I see a future with him." But her friends and family weren't as convinced. In a pre-rose ceremony, heart-to-heart, with her best friend Nancy, Joan was warned to proceed with caution. "He's charming, but charm isn't everything," Nancy said. "Make sure he's not just showing you what he thinks you want to see." The red flags add up. As the finale looms, the debate over Chock's intentions has reached a fever pitch. His critics point to his perfectionism, his need for control, and his complicated relationship history as major concerns. His defenders argue that he's a man who knows what he wants and isn't afraid to go after it. Even Joan seems torn. In a preview for the final episode, she's shown tearfully confiding in a producer, "I feel like I'm falling for him, but I'm scared. What if he's too good to be true?" Conclusion? Chock Chapple has undeniably become one of the most polarizing figures in Golden Bachelorette history. Whether he's truly a walking red flag or simply a misunderstood romantic, one thing is certain, he's kept viewers talking. As Joan prepares to make her final decision, the nation waits with bated breath to see if love will conquer all, or if those red flags will finally catch up to Chock Chapple.